By the sounds of it, within a typical week, you'll have periods where you're not producing ketones all the way till you're in that zone. And I
Right.
want to hear what that is for you when you're really, eating right and your lifestyle's good. Obviously, it's going to depend on a lot of different factors. But give
Right.
me a week and what your high and what your low ketones would be.
Well, so I have a couple of personal goals. I have a live show I do every week, and if you've ever done a live show, there are lots of fun things that go wrong. So I need peak brain performance at the live show. That live show happens on Tuesday afternoons, and I've designed that because on Sundays we'll have a family meal. Like if the kids are home, we'll have a family meal. If it's just Chad and I, we'll do something together. But I won't eat on Sunday night. Mondays are a day of fasting for me where I really push my metabolism. I'll have black coffee and salt, but I've learned to continue to practice the skill of saying no. And again, getting through Monday night, getting into Tuesday morning is a really big part of that stimulus for me. I've done it for like 5 years. And as a woman who has gone through what I think is early menopause, the hormonal changes that are going to happen in the background, I know that my ovaries are going to last the longest if the insulin is least. And my reset happens best when I do the nothing burger from Sunday afternoon until after Tuesday night's show. So there's a few things I built into that. I don't want to embarrass myself. I want to be a good example. I don't tell people to do things that I don't do. So I check my numbers at the beginning of that show every week. And when they look shitty, I tell people why. Like, guess what? This is what happens when, but many times I don't like doing that. So I use a part of my character to apply that stress. I like CrossFit. I did CrossFit for many years, and I would try to get to CrossFit 3 times a week. I would even do it on Tuesday mornings when fasting. I'm an empty nester this year, so we're figuring out the next rhythm of life for where the gym is. But that would be another lever that I would pull. And then the sauna would be the other thing. So by the end of Tuesday, I would often have blood sugars in this, sometimes I would have blood sugars like 49. I mean, really good blood. I mean, don't look at that as good, just that the ketones would be about 5. So I could find a really good stimulus on some of my times where I did a sauna and a workout, and you could just see that I was asking my mitochondria to really produce ketones. When I don't do all those silly things, not silly, but like if I'm not in the rhythm of doing them, my ketones will be 2.5 by the end of that fast. And my blood sugars will be somewhere between 70 and 100, 70 and 90 probably. It depends on stress. If the show's if I've got something stressful happening right before the show goes live, then my cortisol rises and my blood sugar's high, and it's a terrible example. But then I often eat Tuesday after the show, and it's usually a smaller meal. So Wednesdays mornings, my ketones will be under 1 usually, but somewhere between 0.5 and 1. And my blood sugars are usually 80s. Thursdays, I do a pretty good job of being back on my rhythm. Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, my blood sugars all wake up. That's going to be somewhere between, 60 and 80, maybe 80, 85 would be a high blood sugar for me. And my ketones will range somewhere in the morning between 0.7 and, 2. And it will really depend on how clean I keep the evening hours for me, and if I've been in the sauna, if I worked out the day before. And so whenever I pull one of my levers, I can see the effects. And I really think that's where the ownership of how I want to keep my body healthy, and applying it every day by having the tools, not that I have to have ordered by another physician, but to be able to prick my finger and say, yeah, that dessert I didn't need to do that last night.
Do you notice a big difference mentally, physically? And I'm sure you do, but I want to hear more about it when you're at a ketone level of, say, 5 versus 0.7.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's so fun. It's like legal too, right? Like, wow, this is amazing. I mean, my whole clinic's been on peak brain performance, not because, I really am curious about the neuroscience of how to help people, and watching it decline is something I've seen too many times to not really own in a serious way, that the prevention's way better. Whatever, dementia and a riddled brain it's a trap that you can't get out of once you enter it. And I find when my ketones when I do a surge once a week, the night of sleep, you can have ketones too high that you can't sleep, but I've been practicing it long enough that if I peak, like Tuesday night is always this beautiful sleep for me. My brain knows how to use those ketones. When I surge them in a way that's that robust, my depth of sleep is powerful. I wake up the next morning so refreshed. And I have a lot of stress in my life that I do a pretty good job of trying to put up the boundaries, but I'm also human and things pile up. And when I really drop a ball is when there's just been no good metabolic stress to my brain, and I'm asking it to do things that are just pretty demanding.
If you enjoyed that clip, you're going to want to head over here and catch a full episode. I'll see you over there.
If I had to put one demon out there for the chronic diseases that have filled my internal medicine clinic for 20 years, insulin wins. You can say, Doc, I want to check a fasting insulin. And we have lots of people do that. But the fasting insulin...